All right, nothing really went according to plan this morning, and we're not working on what I thought we would be working on because I ran out of time, and we are working on, oh no, there's no DAC talk, hold on, I can't even hear it right now. One moment. I actually thought I was far later for the stream than I thought. Let's see, run.
DAC talk is now online.
There, you can hear DAC talk. I cannot yet.
They've subscribed for 11 months.
End of line.
16 raiders from Belgium have joined.
End of line.
JEPIN 247 has subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 22 months and says 22 months.
Okay, still can't hear DAC talk. Let me turn on the Bluetooth transmitter. I can maybe hear it now. Okay. I'm going to assume this is new. Sleepy, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 11 months.
They've subscribed for 22 months. And says testing is Delphi Online.
End of line.
Gpin, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 22 months. Coffee. And Chloe, thank you for the tier 1 sub also for 22 months. All right. You're joining me deep into a thing here. This wasn't supposed to be a stream subject.
End of line.
70. Hello, Hi. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna turn that down for a moment here. Yeah, it is that one. Okay. T2SDE and Raiders, hello and welcome. I haven't actually properly introduced what we are doing to everyone yet, so you came at the perfect time. This is the hideous Super Nintendo Mini, and I'm trying to S-Video mod it because apparently Nintendo were cheap buggers when they released it, and they just didn't put like 2 capacitors and resistors on this motherboard, so you can't get S-Video out. So I'm trying to restore that. Theoretically, I did all the stuff already, but then it didn't have chrominance, so yay. So we're going to try and debug that, I guess. Yeah. But that's what we're doing today. So, John Mann, thank you for the, I think that was 10 gifted subs? 5 gifted subs. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I really appreciate that. No, the US SNES is awesome. You are incorrect. Okay. Yeah, so this is an oscilloscope. We're going to use that to look at the chrominance channel while I spill all of the capacitors that I used today. Oh, you know what would have been smart is if I'd read what the capacitor was that I put on there. It's probably fine. That was on the Luminance channel, so if it's working, just use a black and white TV, yeah. Well, you can't exactly get S-Video into a black and white TV. They kind of didn't have that technology then. Okay, hold on. There we go. All right. Watch stream notifications, put them in. Screenshots, watch screen. Watch streak. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can do that. I don't put a lot of stock into the Twitch watch streaks because they can be lost so easily. So, details, yeah. All right. I really didn't think I was going to start on time today. I'm going to grab a second probe if I can find one here. Yoink. That way we can look at chrominance and luminance at the same time, like fancy pantses. Okay. Blah. Okay. I guess I should show you what it looks like first. So if I plug in video and I plug in the horrible SNES power and I switch to one Extronomus Maximus and I enable video briefly. There we go. Okay, so if I turn it on, if we're lucky and it syncs, we'll see. Hey, we have luminance, but we don't have chrominance, so we can do better. We shouldn't have sound. Sound's not plugged in, so that's normal. So what I want to look at is those two signals, because S-Video is black and white color, or black and white intensity and color on two separate wires. If you didn't know, that's what chrominance and luminance is, or luminance and chrominance. Strike that, reverse it. So we're going to go ahead and try and measure that, which is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt here. So we're going to do it on the bottom side. I'm sure this is totally normal way to do this and not going to result in me breaking anything at all. Okay, reach, power switch. Perfect. Portizo, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 45 months. That's so many months. There's 32. That's a 16. That's an 8. I probably messed up some other ones earlier. Okay, so that's 40. And then 5. 45 months. Holy moly, thank you. Super Mario Luminous World, yeah. I want to bring back the deck. Oh, yeah, whoops. There we go. Maybe that's correct. Okay, where's the ground? It looks like them screws might be ground. If the screws are ground, then that means that this is ground. Okay, which one is this? This is yellow. Let's start with red.
Subscribe with Prime. They subscribe for 7 months. And says start of line or end of line.
YoshiTube, thank you for the 7 months there. I appreciate that. Okay, this is not on. Okay. So this is luminance. This should work. Okay. Why do I get nothing? Auto set. Do my homework. That's 50 millivolts. That's wrong. Okay, apparently deck talk needs to be louder. Okay, I've maxed deck talk. Hope for the best. Okay. Some reason I had issues with it. Yeah, the issues were not having the time to figure everything out. That is the correct one, right? Or that's Luma. Yeah. So that, no, wait, hold on. Oh no, that's our chroma. Oh, hold on. Well, that'd be why that one's not working. Okay, let's check luminance first. So luminance is down here.
Ultimate says time for a max deck talk broadcast intrusion CHER 200.
End of line.
Okay, that might work. Hey, That's some video looking nonsense. Hold on, auto set. Come on, give me something. That's looking better. Ah, there we go. Yeah, that looks like video. Okay. I'm gonna trigger trigger menu, slope, descending, level, zoom.
Walker, Texas Angler.
Why is it so wonky? Nah, it's close enough.
For 34 months and says ERINPL, 1 Elmofire ERINPL, 1 Elmofire ERINPL, 1 Elmofire.
End of line.
Ben, thank you for the 200 bits there. And Walker, Texas Dangler, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 32 months. I appreciate that. 34. I did the right fingers. I did the wrong words. Okay, so it just looped the demo. Okay, so that's looking good. Let's bring in channel 2. I'm going to bring it up there. And let's see if we can figure out where it is being lost.
Color is the dragon moving from side to side by your command.
Okay, so there's a 75 ohm resistor on there. Let's see, is it on the other side of that? I mean, there's something there, but that doesn't look like color to me. Okay. So we need to flip this over and probe the pin that color comes off of. And Chloe, thank you for the 200 bits there. It might have a video sync option, I don't know. This sucks. Wait, color goes through the big cap? Really? Hold on. Chroma. Hold on. Chroma. Red bottom to, yeah, top. Okay, no, chroma goes through the ceramic cap. Okay. Oh, gosh. So, sure enough, it'd be bad solder joint on a capacitor. That's probably what this one's going to be, too, but it's going to be because I did it. Also, here's something fun. It's way down in there. That's where you do all the soldering. How delightful is that? You can't remove the heat sink, thankfully. So, yeah, that's what I did. So, it's looking like the problem is most likely that ceramic cap that I got on there. That's probably where it's failing. But we'll see. So I'm going to clip onto the big fat cap there, because that'll give us a good video source. Would really like to, you know, I guess I can remove the cartridge while I work. Okay, I had taped that down and now that just pulled the tape up, but whatever, you know, who wants things, you know what, let's not do that. Let's just not mess it all up. Let's try something slightly less stupid. Oh my gosh, grab onto it. There we go. Yeah, okay. Okay, for giggles, let's see that we're actually getting video scope data. Boop. That's looking good. Yep. Yeah, that's all fine. Okay. Now let's try and get color data. Yay. You know what? I'm not even going to try and have you guys watch it, because I'm going to have to probe while it's on, which really sucks. I don't like that, but I don't have a lot of choice here. All right, here we go. Ben, just because you can't tell the Chrominus channel is missing doesn't mean that it's not important to other people. The hilt here exactly taps out where it can't reach. Hold on, you are seeing no oscilloscope crimes happening. Worry not, citizens, for I am a professional. It's going somewhere. I don't know where. Okay, bring it down. All right, I think that's it. That looks good. So, I wonder if my capacitor has let go. Let's get in there and see if it is it possible RGB mod it? Yes, I just don't have that and don't care. I don't really need it. Pay no attention to what you see over there. I'm fine with S-Video. Like, completely fine with S-Video. Alright, one moment here. We're gonna pull this apart and look at the solder. Okay. God, maybe I should unplug power first. That'd probably be smart. Okay. Come back here, chair. Oh yeah, by the way, we're on the analog microphone today because just nothing went right. Okay. Best luck obtaining colors? Alright, thank you. We are not having two Super Nintendo color repairs fail on this stream. I refuse. We will conquer this. First, we had the eternally pink one. No idea what's wrong with that. I would RGB mod that one, except that one's video quality is apparently terrible. So it's not a good candidate for it to begin with, which kind of sucks. Because if it already had issues, that would have been cool if it was just like an analog problem and just going with the RGB mod, just bypassed all that, but apparently it's not worth it. Even on composite, I can tell the difference between this Mini Junior whatever and a standard US release, and this does look better. Okay. Well, I think I see what the problem is. And I keep having this problem, and I don't know how I can fix it. I think this just happened, but this is probably what had already happened. We got one of them fancy, modern... You know what? No, hold on. We're going to switch to the other lens first. Right here, we got a Bluetooth capacitor. So that's what the problem is. There we go, that's a better angle. It keeps ripping the end cap off of these ceramic capacitors. Max Kruger, hello. Just a bunch of random stuff. Nothing special. Too much heat? I don't think so. Maybe. All right, let's fix that, I guess. That's gonna be fun now that the 220 cap's in there. You might ask yourself, why are you using a ceramic capacitor? Or an SMD capacitor, because that's like stupid. And the answer is, I have a whole reel of them. And I don't have any leaded ones. Hot glue over it. That could be an option. I'm also seriously considering rerouting the wire through that via next to it. But I think it's just too thick. Yeah, with your mechanical stresses and nonsense, And your internet finally getting sorted explains why I was having such, or it's getting emails from Linode like, oh my gosh, someone's actually using your websites, Alright, how do I want to handle this? So, fun thing, because of the heatsink, I cannot go any farther this direction. Like, if I could actually move this farther up on here, that would be even better. We no longer feel the need to ask questions like that. What do you mean questions? Like what? I'm sorry, I've talked too much. So I could probably just, like, you know, yoink this off. Wait, no, the other side's perfect. That side's super strong. This side, no. I can't have anything on there. And yeah, for the mechanical stresses, it's supposed to be taped down, but, you know, why are you using a ceramic? Oh, okay, yeah, fair. Very fair. Yeah, the answer is idiot. Yeah, no, got it. No problems. Well, the answers are usually in order. It was probably cheaper. And there we go. It's new cap? Yeah, we'll try a new cap, see what that does. This may or may not have been the issue. Don't know. I'm not kidding, it's my third time replacing this today, though. So this is starting to look maybe not too sustainable long term. Yoink and a doink. It's just, yeah. Okay. How do I want to do this in a way that doesn't suck? Because apparently the ways I've been doing it just suck. I could put another wire on there and then have the two wires go side by side and then have the cap between them and then, like, connect the wires together? Yeah, I think I do that. Okay, so where's my red wire? All right, so give me a moment. I'm going to prep this off camera because I don't want to change lenses a billion times. Okay. So I'm just going to tin a new wire. And then I'm going to stick this coming up off of the chip. Actually, hold on, I'm going to record. All right, I think the chrominance signal being lost was that capacitor dying again, because I can see the chrominance signal coming directly off of the chip with an oscilloscope. So I'm going to put the resistor on a wire and float them next to each other. That way there is as little mechanical stress on the capacitor as possible. And if I said resistor earlier, I meant capacitor. All right, so now I can just put the cap between those two wires. Although, let me lift the polyamide tape here and get the other wire all nice and cozy next to this one. You know what? Nothing's going to plan. Yeah, it'll probably work itself out. Let's just grab a cap and solder it on there. Ow! I managed to have the solder flick like a foot and a half and hit my hand when I was wiping off the tip anyway. Okay, tinned. Let me get a new victim, I mean capacitor. Wire looped around the cap is a thing of beauty. Let's hope the YouTube comments agree. Somehow I don't think they will. Okay. Prepare for some creative work here. Man, who puts a wire over all the stuff you want to solder? It's possible to get the iron in there now. How did I make it look like I knew what I was doing there? Oh, I need to fix these tweezers. Hands aren't steady enough to hold the phone to watch this, much less do it. I really like soldering. There are ways to do it even when you're not stable. Like supporting your hands around the area is really critical. So there we go. I've got it. Now get back here. I said I got you. Now I got the Groundhog's Day song stuck in my head. There we go. Exactly how that kind of capacitor is intended to be mounted. What does that cap do anyway? It acts as an AC coupling capacitor for the chrominance signal to go to the video port. Oh, that's a little big piece of tape. Okay, that one's not gonna work. Never mind. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of put that near this, and then I'm gonna push this whole thing under, and then you know, maybe this is a bad idea. Perhaps what I should do is put this under, and then fold it onto itself. Okay, I'm gonna do a longer one if I'm doing that. Also gonna pull it up just a little bit. Heat shrink it? Is this SNES has pink display? No. This is an SNES Junior, those horrible ones. That apparently have way better video out than anything else. I still have no idea what's causing the pink display on the other one. Okay, hold on. First off, I gotta remove this. Oh, that's going on that. Ooh, well, you know what? There you go. Bye-bye. Okay. Need a pokerator. Just heat shrink it? Do you understand how small this is? No, we're not heat shrinking it. There we go. Kind of, sort of. Maybe. You know, I'm starting to really not like this. Here. There's a reference. Let's just see if it works. I'm not putting the heat shield on. We just won't run it long. Good luck, LM7805. All right, here we go with the leg rewrapped. Of course, we got to play the Extron lottery. There we go. And color, what's up? All right, there we go. That's better. I am not super thrilled with that whole solution in there, though, for all the things. So I still want to make that a little more robust. Do I have Super Metroid? I can confirm I do not, because I cataloged my entire SNES collection this last week. Because I was stuck at home waiting for mail all week. Nor isn't a Pogo Pin Xbox mod. I don't know. Or if you breathed on it and stopped working. This is my own fault here. This would not be difficult if I had used the SMD caps. DS9 for SNES? No. All right. I have a better idea. Should a self-tapper into it for an SMD capacitor? Super Metroid Rando stream? No. Link to the past Rando stream, though. Maybe. You know, something good. All right. There's no reason this has to be under this other capacitor. So what if I just do one of these, and then now we can actually insulate this in a way that isn't total garbage. Your eBay score? Yes, so it was one of the packages that I had to wait for. I think you'll understand this. I had to wait for the delivery vehicle to pull up in front of my house so I could rush out there because it was critical that it avoided even that last final drop onto the... because I wanted to make sure as little broken plastic happened as possible, and I could hear the guy cursing in the truck trying to lift it up. So, yeah, it was good that I went out there. I picked it up off of the truck. What sorcery? So, alright, here's what I'm gonna do now. Now I'm gonna cut this slightly better. You would think I would have scissors. So, we're gonna do this, and then... Alright, well now that it's proved to work, I'm starting recording, by the way, to catch up the video. Now that this is... Alright, I tested it, that did work. I'll get a better shot in a moment, but I didn't want to run it too long because I didn't put the heatsink on, and I decided to pull the SMD cap up, and now what I'm gonna do is fold this polyamide tape over it like this. There we go, and now that will be much better insulated. Yeah, that's way less concerning. Much better is relative. Previously, it could have, like, shorted out on some spots on the board. Now it's floating in the air. Better. All right, let's put the 7805 heatsink back on. So to remove or reinstall this are 3 caps. One goes through the pad on the back of the voltage regulator on here. In theory, they really should have put some thermal grease on there, but they didn't, and it probably doesn't matter that much. So now shorts to the air, yeah. Jacob's ladders between the two wires. And there's the 2 screws on the bottom that hold the heatsink in. So a couple kilovolts there will become nice conductor, yeah. So for those of you watching the stream version of this, the way that you're supposed to do this is to use some resistors soldered in line with those capacitors, and you're supposed to, you know, not use SMD caps. So what I did instead is I used SMD resistors soldered directly to the video port like that. And I'm awaiting comments that are saying, you can't separate the caps and the resistors like that, even though this is the composite 75 ohm terminating cap right there. So, yeah. All right. Now we can put this back in here, and I am going to fully attach this time. The screws for this come in 2 varieties. There are some gray ones and some brass ones. It's easy to tell which ones go where. The brass ones touch metal stuff, and the gray ones touch plastic stuff. Who called the SMD police again, or the other way yet? I feel like that was a good use of SMD. What I did instead, a risky move, yeah. Around something spicy like SFX1 or SA Game makes the regulator. Yeah, or a SuperCard Pro or FX Pack Pro. That's it. Oh, that's the wrong one. Silent Searchlight. No, or the Mini removed it because it didn't come with S-Video. Playful, thank you for the 6 months. I'm holding screws, but sorry about the deck talk being messed up. I'll try to fix that in a moment. There we go. So the 4 screws for the metal shield there, and then 3 screws, 1 holding down the video connector, and those. And for giggles, before our final test, we'll just slap that on so it looks all fancy-like. Let me put in the cart. I'm going to plug in video and power. And now we can see, if I turn this on, boom, color. Man, that looks way better than composite. I've been staring at the composite a lot this week. Yeah, that looks tremendously better. All right, then the last thing is the 4. All right, then the last thing, or the first thing if you're disassembling it, is the 4 stupid Nintendo screws that have a weird bit that you'll need a special driver socket for to be able to remove or not. If you drop the screws on the floor, you know, don't worry. Yeah, I don't care that much about RGB. I'm fine with the S-Video. Oh no, he's back. He's on his back. Oh, Shelby replicate confirmed, yeah. There we go. And that's it. All done. Now I just have to figure out a way of getting enhanced S-Video to work on this thing. So yeah, you guys want to try plugging it into a RetroTink 4K? See what that looks like, maybe? Although I don't have a way of plugging it into the VGA port, which is how you are able to define your sample rate for S-Video, so it's actually not going to look that good because I am going to plug it into the front. Thought you were against buying those? I didn't say that. Oh. I said, if I said anything, it's that for the most part, I don't need it, and that the Extrons do a pretty darn good job. Call me a purity snob. Don't like any console mod that requires you to drill holes in the plastic. I agree, but apparently this video port was originally designed to carry RGB S-Video composite. I don't think it did RF, but it was meant to carry everything. So there are, I can see where that's happening maybe. I'm dropping a lot of frames, but I'm still connected to my server, which means that it has to be a Twitch side, because if I can still see my server connection, that means that it's working. So that's a Twitch problem. AWS is out again. What do you mean YouTube's jumping? I haven't lost connection to my home server. I don't see how it could be anything. Was I smart enough to bring the remote for the RetroTink? Oh, I was. Wow. I really thought I didn't. All right. AWS outage round 2, yeah. Carve an exception if it has knockout or indents for intended ports. Yeah. So what I just did, though, Digital Ice Age, if you can hear me, didn't add anything other than internal components. No external modifications were made. All right, we're going to run the RetroTink off of a battery bank because wiring is wonky and it needs a lot of power. All right, let's make sure this works first. In the upper right, we should see, there we go, profile loaded. Okay, so now we can connect. Seeing as we just did the S-Video mod, keep in mind this is my first time attempting this. You guys want to see something cool? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And not that video port. This one. Turn it on. And there we, gosh, that looks incredible. Yeah, that rocks. Do keep in mind this is, oh, so there is a, when it fades out, you can see a problem that it has. I do have a copy of Star Fox. I only brought Super Mario World today because I was not intending on doing this on stream. So let's just see here really quick. Yeah, so as it fades, no, the lines weren't there. Okay. Wow, this is, yeah. Good grief, that looks incredible. This is just S-Video. Like, man. Yeah, that was very definitely worth it. So, to give you a frame of reference here, I'm going to pause, okay? So, at the top of the screen, there's the UI. You get the box where you can store a secondary item. Here, let me collect one really quick. There, I just synthesized the second item. Let me get that back. Okay, so I hit start and select at the same time. We can go back here maybe. So the box where the second item is, all right, you can see that it has horizontal lines to the left and right of the item. Over composite, you cannot get those lines to be straight. Let's see if I can actually show that here. I'm going to plug in composite, all right, and I'm going to switch to that. Look at the lines up there. They look like a sawtooth going up. S-Video is just that much better, and that's a luminance channel thing, really. That's not even chrominance. That's luminance. Almost like they designed S-Video for a reason. I know, right? Crazy. So back to S-Video. Bam, just mwah, perfect. Oh, I love that. That is so awesome. And in theory, so the way that the RetroTank 4K works, all right, my understanding of this, okay, there are two input front ends on this, two ADCs. There is a low resolution ADC that handles everything that plugs in here, and then there is a high resolution ADC for everything that gets plugged into the back. You cannot adjust the sample rate for the low resolution ADC. It is always 858 pixels per horizontal line. So there is no way to change the sample rate depending on the signal source that you're sending it over the front input. So the workaround is that you can make an adapter to plug S-Video into the, I believe, red and green channels on the VGA port on the back, and then you can use that to sample the S-Video at a higher rate, or you can choose, they call it the decimation amount, where you decide this is where a pixel is. So let's say we super sampled this by 2x, we can decimate it by 2, and then we'll have 1 pixel per visual pixel. So that is one of the reasons why I did ultimately buy this, so that I could experiment with better decimation rates or better horizontal sampling for composite and S-Video sources. Because let's say you have something like, oh, say an HP86 that outputs composite video, but monochrome composite video, which is the same as just the luminance channel on S-Video. You can feed that into the back, and then you can exactly specify your pixel sample rate for the video data, so that I could direct pixel capture something like the HP86, which it turns out the Extrons cannot do. I did not know that. The Extrons have effectively a similar analog low-end front-end like this for composite and S-Video, and you cannot resample that. When we were losing video sync, yeah, that keeps the video sync issues where it goes rainbow barf on the Extron. That's when it's trying to determine the sample, and it just doesn't work. So the analog NTSC artifact colors make the sawtooth on composite. Yeah, that's probably it. I think everyone might need to pause and restart the stream to catch up. And if you do that, you're going to miss a lot of technical stuff that I just talked about. But when you hear this, I'll do some stupid stuff. You know what? I'm just going to play the game a little bit here. That way we can all catch up. Because I think there was a lot of stuff going on. All right, by the way, I'm using an 8-bit Do Bluetooth controller receiver with the official Nintendo Online controller for this. So I have a semi-official controller and input source, which is really nice. Because this controller feels perfect. But I get wireless too. Oh good, I know how to do a spin jump now. I keep confusing Baby Yoshi for regular Yoshi, like I need to eat all of the fruits for some reason. So I'm just going to do a level here, and then after that we'll figure out what we want to do next. Wow, this looks so good. This is insane. Just waiting for an opportunity to refresh. Okay, so I gave you adequate time here. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. So I don't know if it's coming across in stream. On the right half side of the screen, there is like a weird gray set of pixels. Yeah, it's hard to tell if it's coming across on the server. It's just, yeah, it's not working quite right. Paul Guy, yes and yes. But we have to plug it in to the VGA port on the back for that to actually matter. I didn't mean to restart that level. All right, I'm going to assume everyone's caught up now. Okay. See the gray part? All right, yeah. I think what can happen is if I reset the console, it can randomly have or not have that. Yeah, so I think it's better this time. So I've seen some vertical lines in the video before. I'm not seeing them this time. Might be better with this S-Video source, but I saw it in specifically N64 stuff. Dude, I'd like sound like a broken record. I can't get over how good this looks. This looks so good now. That is nuts. All right. All right. It's gone now? Yeah. See, I think that that's something weird with the low resolution front end. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing some testing with this and some video sources. Fun fact, if you have a high power data port, you can plug this into a computer through this, and then it has a USB UART that you can send serial commands to control it. Chloe, thank you for the 200 bits. I'm going to go restart the FireWire audio interface. One moment. So yeah, if there's anything anyone else wants to see about the RT 4K, let me know. I feel like probably not right now. I kind of want to see... I mean, I wish I had a female S-Video port right now. I will have some tomorrow, but that's going to be handled differently. Because I would make a VGA to S-Video adapter right now. But I can't do that at the moment. I don't have a S-Video... I don't have a way of connecting S-Video from this to the VGA port on the back right now. So... All right. I think that's it then. Don't seem to have any more ideas for this. Okay. I feel like with only an hour left, less than an hour left, I should not get started on the deck writer. Let's see, what else could we do right now? I really just straight up don't have a means to plug the S-Video in. Time to fix the deck talk? I just did. There's nothing wrong with the deck talk. Says Twitch, you just play Mario. I don't really want to play Mario World right now. PS2 the same? No. So PS2 has 6 pins, whereas S-Video has 4. It is the same as ADB. And I do have an ADB extension cable that, in theory, I could snip and make a cable for. But I kind of don't want to cut up an ADB extension cable. I thought I might have, like, desoldered an old TV, like, video input panel or something, but I couldn't find it. Gives up some view count. All right, I appreciate that. Yeah, you just checked. Yeah. PS2's vertical peg, SVHS is horizontal. Probably, but that's also most likely down to just making sure that the different pin counts are keyed so you can't cram the wrong one in. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure S-Video, it would be really, really hard to tap off of those. Yeah, just they're recessed in without destroying the cable to get to them. Well, GPUs have S-Video ports you can steal them. Old motherboard GPU with S-Video. I have never seen a motherboard with that, and if I did see a motherboard with that, I would assume it's that weird MSI one that has a Voodoo 3 on board, and there is no way I would desolder a S-Video port from that. Yeah, this is the problematic side. If I could figure out a way of getting the signals out of that, we could do this. Ooh, wait a minute. They might be isolated enough for me to just use header pins. Let's see, where are those hiding? So I'll let you know, I did look at the schematics for the Decorator 2. Nothing jumped out at me for what the problem might be, but I have a better idea of what we are looking at now. Terms from phone, chat message, figure out if he lagged again. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I should somewhere around here have breadboard jumper cables that have some female ends on them that are just act as extensions. With just those, we could plug straight in, but I gotta find them. I don't know where they went because I don't use them a lot. We do more repairing than prototyping mostly now, so hasn't been as useful. Where did they go? I have no idea, man. Maybe this. I have some. No. Hello, though. There's some stuff in here. There's some weird stuff I forgot about. Like this. Ha ha. How ironic is that? There's a male S-Video port. Cool. Great. I don't think I have a female one. I do have some Extron BNC cable ends. I got 5-pin DINs, not many DINs. I got 8-pin DINs, not many DINs. Got 3.5mm audio jacks. More 3.5mm audio jacks. Yeah, no S-Video ports in there. USB Type-B ports, though. Yeah, a bunch of male banana jacks. I gotta remember those are in there. Alright, but not breadboard jacks. Man. Today and Shelby finds things. Yeah, just still Jenkins man. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I'm a little surprised by this one, actually, because I thought they would be really close nearby. What would I have those in? I haven't used them in so long. I can't form like a mental picture where I might have left them. Find a box of 50-ish S-Video checks he bought years ago, totally forgot about. So, side note, okay, I have a thing that I need to repair. It's missing the power switch, and I've been desperately trying to find the right size power switch. Couldn't find them online, and then I went through my random parts bins, and I found nearly the exact correct power switch here in a random bag of stuff that I ordered from Mauser so long ago that it's faded to the point where I can't almost read it. So yeah, I found almost the right power switch. After I did order some from DigiKey, but they're cute little baby switches. They're like half of the length of this one. I don't even know how I messed it up that bad dimensionally, but yeah, so that was kind of funny. All right. What are options? Ooh, wait a minute. We might be able to do what I did earlier. Wait a minute. I could be evil. Can I take these and just clip on? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So if we do that, this feels like one of them bad ideas. Except with an extra beard, yeah. Where is it, on the forehead, or what could possibly go wrong? Yeah, I'm sure. Retro Take 4K is a great idea to experiment with this. S-Video pin out. Okay, what pins are where here? Okay. Okay. So it is the top ones. Signal integrity will love it. Yeah, for sure. So then we just need to route from here to there, which is an easier proposition, although not a flawless one. But that I think I can do with hacks. Actually, maybe I could do this even slightly better. Wait, that goes to the outside. You know, probably still better composite, yeah. I'm gonna let my better judgment win and not do this. I feel like, you know, maybe not. Because here's the answer. I'm gonna have all the parts to do this through an Extron crosspoint switch by the end of the weekend. I don't need to rush this and make a big mistake. Let's just be sensible. Found a slot plate in one of my three components, one composite, one S-Video. It's from Jesus TV. Ah, I'm envious. Making bad decisions part of your brand? I don't really want it to be. Okay, yeah, so that's all still good. I realized I did some of that stuff with the things on, so I wanted to make sure. Man, it just does look so good. That's just ridiculous. All right. No one really had any questions about this. Okay, I'm just going to put this away. The streaming Shelby and YouTube Shelby. Okay. I got what I needed out of this for now. I really wanted to get this done before stream. Ooh, there is something we can work on right now. You know what? Let's let's do another project, okay? Another thing I was going to do off stream, but we can just do it on stream, and then I don't have to remember to do it. Let's do that. I'm going to throw this on my bag over here. All right. It involves the Michitoyos over there. Not as incompetent as I look on stream, but no one will ever believe me. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. You're loving this stream? Oh, thank you. This is fun. Is that a thing? I was gone too long, it seems. It's more like Shelby, who finally managed to somewhat justify buying a RetroTink 4K and knows how much it just cost him, and knows that in 8 to 9 days it might be way more expensive than he even paid now to get one. All right. We're gonna look at this. And all we're going to do is look at it. Look at it and snippy measure it. I was asked by Atomic Keyboard to get a couple more direct measurements of this thing. And I figure we can just do that right now. Because I want to do it at some point, and no reason not to right now. So I'm just going to bring up that email off to the side here. Okay, because they have a spreadsheet, gmail.com. It's going to be a video every week for the next 3 weeks, either on TT to pay for the 4K. I don't know. Depending on how much it actually gets used at the office or not, it may be more of an office thing. This stupid camera. I gotta fix this again. For the life of me, I cannot get this thing to stay attached. Kind of keyboards? Where can you get one? Well, microwave. You see that giant mini computer over there? This is the keyboard for that. You shouldn't try and get one because it's not usable with anything else. And yeah, oh, that was a big mistake to put this stuff on here. There's now poster tech probably permanently inside of the Blackmagic. Cool, that was smart. Yeah, don't try and get one because the people who have the computers need one. But look up Atomic Keyboard and you can find a Kickstarter for, I was going to show you, but the camera's right here. There's a modern recreation of that keyboard that is currently being made. It is not inexpensive, but they are working on it. And they're going to make a new, they're making a new version of that keyboard. Yeah, so I tried putting poster tack in there to see if that would act as like a soft washer, would hold it in place. No, and now there is, yeah, permanently poster tack in the camera probably. So that's cool. If I ever send this thing in for service, they're gonna tell me no. just what's wrong with you? Oh gosh, yeah, I can't get that out. That's cool. Hopefully it doesn't like heat up and melt down in on there. So understated. What's in the camera? Poster tack. I put poster tack, so I have this plate, okay? This is a mount plate. It goes on my ball head so that I can position the camera over here. A normal camera, like a DSLR or something, the plate will have an alignment peg, and it will stick up, and there'll be a second hole beside the one that is threaded. And the alignment peg will go into the hole and it's spring-loaded and it just sits there. All it does is keep this plate from being able to spin. There is no such equivalent on this camera or this plate for the top mount. So what ends up happening is it doesn't matter how tight or what I use, I will put this top plate on here and it will start to work its way loose as I move the camera around. So I've been trying different things for years to keep this thing in position and nothing ever works. So this time I tried putting poster tack on there. It was a bad idea, turns out. Drill a hole? Well, there isn't one on the plate. Also, camera. No. Wish most SLRs had alignment pins. I've only ever seen them on video gear. Oh, I guess the Nikon, this one doesn't. I swear my D5300 does. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, it needs the alignment peg, but it's missing, so. Can you 3D print a bracket thing to stick out of the front and hold the surface in alignment? I don't know. Loctite is not the answer. I'm not pouring Loctite into my camera. Because this isn't sealed. It will just get into the camera then. Additionally, I guarantee you the Loctite will fail. It won't be enough. The knockoff Manfrotto mounts work really well. I have them all over. That's how I mount my, what you call it, teleprompter. All right. So Max, I have the cage for one of these, but I put it on the other camera because it didn't help and it just made it way more and caused the arm to drift downwards. Lock washers don't work. Tried that. Nothing works. I think it's just an unsolvable problem because I put force on it too much all the time. It just straight up needs an alignment peg to keep it from being able to turn. That's it. Just keep in mind, literally nobody does what I do with this camera. The way that I have this set up, I am the only person who does this. So there are no products, there's nothing designed for this, or else I could get something that would be better and handle it better, but nobody does this. So, all right, off, on, there we go. And for the person who was wondering about the modern one, there is the modern keyboard that is being worked on. That's a prototype. They are not shipping yet. I just did a video about the prototype. That's why I am about to measure this one to provide them more information on the dimensions of the original keyboard because they are interested in increasing the accuracy of it. Hold on, I need to go off camera for a moment here. Okay. When I mount the camera upside down, because that doesn't solve any of the problems and makes it way harder to use. Additionally, you don't have to ping me because I can't even see the ping. All right. Liked your idea for fixing the trackball design, but I fear they won't go for the cosmetic compromise. They are interested. Well, they didn't express an interest in splitting the plate. They did express an interest in the ball being in the wrong position. So I'm going to push the idea that someone commented on the YouTube video of, for the modern plate, rotating the trackball 180 degrees. So one of the things I didn't mention in the video that they have communicated to me multiple times, that trackball module, so the sensor for that is actually mounted on the base inside, and then the module mounts over that. They're going to move the sensor onto the module itself, and that will make rotating it possible. All right, let me look at what the measurements they want are. They wanted a lot. I'm not sure how many I can actually get. Okay. That's an interesting design choice. What, having the sensor on the base? Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Oh, I know exactly why they did that, because the way the stuff is routed is kind of difficult. I'm not sure exactly how the mouse sensor is connected. There might be an internal hub. I haven't looked at that. But the mouse sensor wires, it needs a lot more wires, and they didn't want to put that on the buttons PCB for the mount, I suspect. All right, one moment here. That's what I want. Okay. Looked very prototypey from what we saw when you popped the numpad out. Well, some of that's just going to look like that because of the modularity of it. Although I will say the trackball part is a sintered 3D printed part. That was kind of cool. I've never seen one of those in person. Send a CAD model of that plate PCB way. They make it from metal. Yeah, send, cut, send, PCB way. Send, cut, send, I believe, is domestic, so that's where I would do it now, but yes. I'm going to have to ask send, cut, send if they want to start making PCBs, because I don't know where that's going to be possible soon. Okay. All right, they asked about the D1 and the D2 being different dimensions, but they are identical. Let me just go confirm that really quick here. Yeah, pretty sure they are in every possible way. Yeah, it's the exact same casting. So I'm only going to do D1 measurements here because that makes it so I don't have to unplug the keyboard connector on the D2. Since Cutsand did announce they're going to start shipping internationally a while back. Don't know if they followed through. International shipping. Yeah, it definitely got more complicated. Yeah, I don't think transatlantic move is in the cards here for some particular ocean-colored reason. Additionally, there's somewhere far closer north that would be better fit. Okay. I would do it in Imperial, but I know they'll want metric, even though everything's going to be in Imperial. All right, total horizontal width. I thought I got them this measurement, but it was kind of fuzzy, because I don't think I have a tape measure to hand. And I did it with two rulers stacked on top of each other. Let me see if I can find a tape measure. Let's see. I don't think I've said this out loud, but just in case anyone finds it weird that the Atomic Keyboard people would be trying to clone this keyboard, keep in mind that Apple completely cloned the Data General hardware without giving any credit or anything, to the point where they're listed the Lumen terminal on Apple's website. That was hilarious. I really wish I had a tape measure. How do I not have one here? So I think I just cut myself on my drawer. Yeah, sheet metal's a little sharp there. Maybe it's in this drawer. No, I have one here. Well, all right. We'll hold off on that measurement, I guess. Vertical height, outer edge, overall footprint width. Wait, what? Total vertical height. Outer edge to outer edge. Keyboard plate. Oh, they want to know the keyboard plate size. Oh, I'm not removing that. Yeah, I need a tape measure. Okay, I'm gonna have to bring a tape measure for this, it seems. Why does modern Audi plate only have 8 F keys? Because the 2 plates, the television show and the original one, used just the 8 keys here. And the biggest problem, you would either have to do this, like the Cherry keyboard, where the keys are all crushed up against each other, or not have them. So they could have all of the keys. I did actually mention it to them that they could potentially just do that with the Audi one. But if you look at a keyboard that has the isolated escape key and then the clusters of 4 keys, you'll find that they are a half key width or 75% of a key width between the 4 clusters. So you can't just have a grid. It's not the right width. Yeah, I know I have a measuring tape somewhere here, but I just don't know where it went. Just no clue. All right, well, can't measure those, are too big. Distance from the top plate to the top edge of the key area. So this, yeah, okay, I would love to see this shrink actually on the real one. That is basically 40 millimeters. I'm going to go with 39.5 millimeters. Look, we did a measurement. Yay! And for giggles, on the Atomic as it currently is, it's 51. I'm not quite sure how many of these parameters they might use. So eyeball it. That's what they did from the television show. So they don't really have measurements for that. Yeah. Yeah, the Atomic is a lot bigger than this is. Okay. Distance from bottom plate to the key area. $17.5 millimeters. 0.5 millimeter left. I think I'd still want them as one group anyway. Use laptops, always escape F. Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, I passed that on in my email after the video about potentially adding those. The thing is those keys, I just don't know. I don't know. I would vastly prefer it as well. I'm going to go 38 flat on that one. Dad General, what were you smoking? That one's 42.5. Vertical height. I'm glad they noticed this. This one is a full key row, I believe, on the Atomic, and it's not on this. Probably half. .25, which for giggles is 0.32 inch. Interesting. Okay. Then we eyeballed it, then found a madman who owns it. Yeah. A madman who owns it, who is personally motivated to see the Atomic succeed because I want fewer people to buy these. I want these to become accessible for the people who own the terminals. I don't want them to be hoarded by keyboard collectors. Horizontal span of the top function key row measured from the first key to last key center. Okay, well, I picked the wrong keyboard for this since that one's missing, but we can just move one key over. And then instead of center where we can't actually get an alignment point, I'm just going to measure from corner to corner. .132.3. .133.3. Spacing between the main cluster and the middle cluster. Well, that's a little complicated, but okay. Let me make sure the D2 looks the same. Oh my gosh, I measured this on the D1. The D2 is different. Hold on, I need to get different measurements for... Oh my gosh, don't tell me these plates are... Oh, they are wildly different. All right, I'm disconnecting that. Oh, I didn't want to because this connector sucks. Oh gosh. Redo from start. Well, I'm just going to copy and paste these into the D1 area, but I'm realizing the D2 is very different because it has more keys. So this is narrower. This is narrower because there's one extra key over there. The overall position of the keyboard is shifted to the right more on the D2. Yeah, so just because the key area is wider. Yeah, this is, so if anyone is wondered why I didn't chastise them too much about the key arrangement between on the dasher layout, the D1 and the D2, you know, flip that numerically, are very different. So there's at on top of P, and then P is just normal, and at's over here. There's just, they're super different layouts between these two keyboards. So you could conceivably say, I feel, that the layouts are meaningless on the original keyboards because they're also archaic. Like the carriage return and new line being separate keys, a rub out key, a repeat key, that's like unusable on a modern keyboard. Erase page, erase end of line. So I feel like make the dasher key layout on the Atomic just good for terminals and looks similar to this, which basically means remove those. But there should be like a caps key or a control key or something right there. I've already done all that, Vorpal Sword. And again, pinging me does nothing. I don't see that. I have custom chat viewer for merge chat. Okay, so these are measurements on the D2, but these are actually for the D1. I'm gonna guess the horizontal span's the same. I don't know if this, like, I can't see why this would be different. that's the same. Okay, let me get the other ones. The D2 top is bigger. That's weird. It's 40.2. Honoring custom InVision chat widget myself when I'm using doesn't honor or highlight my message. Redeems does have double escaping bugs. I mean, you can use my code. It's not like it's it's open source for a reason. So 16.6 millimeter there, which is shorter than that. Weird. .2 millimeter. Do not implement the AI. Oh gosh. Might steal some of it, yeah. .24 millimeter. Yeah, way narrower. Vertical distance between these two. .3. Yeah, it's the same. Okay, horizontal spacing between these. Okay, so this slightly different. I'm going to measure the narrowest spot here. 8.3 again. Okay, no, that was a D1. Oh, I'm going to move this more off to the side so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay. I need to drink more coffee. Yeah, 8.1 right there. And then here, I'm going to guess it's the same. Yeah, 8.1 again. Okay. Yeah, 8.3 there. Okay, then I can't get the overalls. All right. Yeah, this is, I kind of understand why they asked this. I just wish that they had done it math-wise. So the corner radiuses, I actually measured these for them, and I measured all the cumulative radiuses, but then they wanted the total outer one, and like it was just measurable or calculable. Like this is a really hard thing to practically measure. I think it's like 13 millimeter or something. I don't remember. 18.6. I mean, oh, this is another thing. I don't know how I can measure this. I think I need like a true flat, like, plane to put this on, and then a 90-degree wedge. Like, how can I measure this angle? Like, it's... So, you can see this is flat on the table, but this slants this direction. So, it goes towards the keyboard. I have no idea how I can effectively measure that. The only thing I can think of is if I get something that's really, like, perfectly square, and then I measure between that. So, like, pretend this cardboard box was perfectly square. Like, protractor? I want to jokingly say I don't have a protractor, but I totally have a protractor. But it's like, I don't think that's going to work. A transparent protractor. It's too curved. Well, I'm not even talking about this curved part. Like, that's another difficulty. I just mean, like, if you had a completely straight line here from this point on the wall over, and then back there on the wall over, we need to measure 2 points at the bottom and the top to calculate that. The contour gauge, yeah, but like a hyper precise one. Like... This is one area where I say just kind of YOLO it. Like maybe 1 degree, 2 degrees, 2.5, you know. Think these shapes would have been produced by some common router bits? No, this was 100% done for injection molded releasing. That's why, I guarantee you, that's why it has that edge. So it's not straight up. It will cool, shrink, and pop. Straight edge on the depth finder on the calipers. Yeah, but I don't have, like, where do I get, I need a 90-degree square, and then I need to, like, zero the calipers when they're at the edge of the square, and then... Yeah, this is rough. That one's a little hard. Carpenter's Tri-Square. I'm not buying tools for this. A height gauge, that's just what the pokey bit on the end of a caliper is. But I just need a, like, perfect 90-degree edge. That's what I'm missing. Sanity. First off, I'm surprised that worked on a computer space since they're like the sparkle metal finish. Second, that's not going to be precise enough. The calipers and frame and send that. I don't know. All right, hold on. They also sent some reference images for trying to make sense of their more complicated requests. Let me figure this out. Okay, yeah, got all that. Okay, I'll be able to use that to do the total. Okay, so one thing they want is the cable cutout dimensions. Let's do that next because that's a little easier. All right. Come visit, bring your own measurement gear might work. Don't don't know that they could. Okay. Where are these guys based? That's the thing. There's a reason I said read the FAQ. Okay. Oh my gosh, measuring this is brutal. It's so round. So they want to know the height of this and then the distance to the edge. Ugh. So I can do the distance to the edge, kind of like this, and then, like, oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to eyeball this. You know, it's not, it's fine. Let's go with right there. 72.7 millimeter. I can't measure the right side that effectively. I can measure the height. That's 18 dead on. All right. The keyboard itself is in Imperial, but I know no one works in Imperial, so I've been setting all the measurements in metric, just to be consistent. Okay, there was something I asked for at the bottom. Okay, I don't think they actually want those. Okay. Okay, and then the impossible angle requests. So yeah, front angle 1. So yeah, I did send them a picture of this effectively. Front might be straight up and down. I don't know. It's so hard to tell. And like you can also see the casting isn't perfect here. So this might even vary from model to model. Why are we measuring it? Because I worked with the company who made the prototype for the recreation, and they would like to have some finer measurements to dial it in a little closer. Okay, let me think about how I can do this. So I want something straight that I could put this edge against so I can poke this out and use that as a depth gauge to go up this side. It would be preferable. I mean, I kind of have a thing could sort of use. Ooh, wait, what if we did that? Wait a minute, I might have an idea. Chloe, thank you for the 200 bits. This should make for a pretty good right angle. I actually looked through the 6053 manual. I didn't see any drawings. because I was hoping to be lazy. I didn't want to do this. Okay. Here's my right edge rig. I dare say that's perfectly parallel. I also think maybe that the right angle one is leaning out. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Yeah, I think that's perfectly straight on the front. Yeah, so I'm going to go with 0. I don't know what we're going to call this. Let me do this though. I'm going to clamp the calipers onto this and then 0 onto that, and that'll give me my reference 0. So at the base, we're 6.93, and at the top, 7.3. Wait, is that 1 millimeter? So it barely, I don't know. I can't tell if it moves away or... Yeah, there might be one. I just don't know. Let's go with... Yeah, so 6.5, 7.2. Do that one more time. Six oh. 6.5. Okay. Well, I'm just writing down the angles. It was 6.0 and 6.5, right? Yeah, 6.0, 6.5. Yeah, they're asking for measurements like it's CAD. They want the angle from here to here. That is impossible to measure. At least for me. Okay, let's do the side. This may not be super accurate if it's not reaching the second rubber pad. It's not. Do I have an additional aluminum extrusion? I do not. Ruh-roh. Okay, let me try this. I'm gonna push this out like that. That's gonna have to be good enough. Is that sitting on the cable? No. Okay. Okay. Send you a large laser scanning machine. Yeah. Okay, so it should be 6.0 at the bottom on all of them. Now I'm not convinced. Now it's 6.75 versus 8.1 something. This is like, you can't see anything. There's no way I can show this. It's too far over. $6.5. To 8 flat. Oh my gosh, this is really hard. I don't feel, you know what, I don't feel confident in this. I'm just gonna take them photos. Like, the only way to do this is on a computer, kind of eyeballing it. There's no way to practically measure this. Okay. Bunch of new stuff on Nova's Are Forever. Oh, cool. Okay. So total width, I can't really get easily. I did give them a rough estimate before. Yeah, let me be cheeky and try something here. Oh, there's no way I can do this. Yeah, there's no way. No, I don't have an iPhone. I just need a tape measure. Is there one in this bag? Oh my gosh, there's one in this bag! Sweet! Okay, measurement time. It's 50 millimeters, like, exactly width, or 50 centimeters exactly. So yeah, 500 millimeters. Did that deliberately? Definitely, totally. Yep. Yep. Yeah, so for reference, the atomic is approximately 575 millimeters. So more than 10% wider. Okay. That is 220. Okay, I think they wanted the keyboard plate 470, like exactly-ish. $180. Okay, and those numbers are the same. D1. Okay, angle between. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up my right angle thing. I'm going to take some photos with my phone and tell them I cannot easily measure this without a computer. Yes, the 6053, that is it. The back one's the most important angle. The rest of them are just like barely at all. Oh, this is rough. This is not easy. Okay, that one's pretty well documented. Side is a lot harder. So does it go, we go until the job is done? We're almost done. There's like one more picture we're gonna do. I don't want to have to do this again. My stomach's also growling, saying it's time to end and go eat a food. Okay. Pretty sure I already got them the height of these, but I'm just going to write these down for my own sake. Calipers. That is a Samsung Ultra S24. Okay. That is 33. S-Video Mod Falsetto General Keyboards. Yep. We did actually scope some pixels today, though, because luminance didn't work. Or chrominance. Can't have chrominance without luminance. That is 65.5. Actually, 65.4. Back. Edge. Plate. Lip. To table. Okay, that'll have to do. That's what I can get. Yeah, my phone's telling me, hey, you're supposed to shut off all your stuff now and leave. So, all right. That should be it. Turn the calipers off. Should take this apart, but instead I'm going to throw it on the floor, and that's tomorrow's Shelby's problem. Okay. And by on the floor, I mean I put it in the box of the rest of my aluminum extrusion. Okay, let me make sure I have these numbers saved. Yeah, use CSV format. Okay. What? Yeah. Instead to be floor. That's a good throwback. All right. It is outro time. Are we decorator 2ing? Well, we really have to get that done one way or another so that it's out of the way. Because it's got to go to somewhere where it can live permanently, and where it can live is not in the middle of my floor space where I walk around. So, yeah, we'll probably work on that tomorrow. Like I said, I started working on, I don't have them here, marking up the schematics for everything. So we'll look at that tomorrow. Yeah, that is going to be it for today. So, if you enjoyed this stream, you may want to follow to be notified when I go live again next. It's been a day so far. If you want to help support the channel, you can find me on Patreon or get a shirt like this one. But that's it for now, and I will see you next time. Side note, now that we've ended the stream, I am surprised that there were no problems with the analog mic, because I used that all day. Yeah, there we go. All right, bye-bye. Scope pixels, it's a ThinkJet anyway. It does not make sounds.